Come with me and you'll see how to draw from your imagination. Hello, everybody. My name is RODGON. I am an artist. I'm a designer. I'm a teacher. And today I just want to be your art instructor. So today we are going to learn something cool, something new, something awesome. Today we are going to learn a little bit more in depth, so things for how to draw your human bodies, your characters, and stuff like that. And at the same time, I'm gonna make it easy information to dissect so you guys can go ahead and actually use that knowledge instead of just storing it. So hello. I'm just flipping through some of the pages that I've did recently. And we are working on our cover for our first raw sketchbook. So this is going to be our first cover for one of the just scanned sketchbooks that I just released. So I want to work on this one a little bit more as well, but that might be off of screen. Actually, no, why not? Let's just keep on doing this one. I want to finish it. So what I wanted to do with this one was just to represent a little bit of what I like to do, like a doodle. And then I'm not even going to clean this up. I might just leave it nice and loose with the blue and the black, and then just use that as a cover. Add all the little template-y stuff like the barcodes and stuff like that later. But allow a little bit of imperfections to show, because that's what the whole sketchbook is. So, but we can do that later. Today, we should learn something cool. So, once we get our likes up a little bit, we need to at least hit 2,000 likes. So make sure to hit that like button. And until then, I'm going to show you guys how easy some things like heads, for example. I've learned that heads are incredibly simple to understand, right? You just have to learn a little bit of math and learn a couple little shapes. Once you do that, you have access to drawing heads relatively easy. Being able to do it from any angle, any shape is relatively easy once you find the basic concept of it. Once you understand how things get divided, how things work, and how and where the elements fall, the thing about drawing other elements like, different characters and stuff like that just comes with variation. So if you wanted to draw a character that's really skinny, you can take this, do that in half. See what I mean? Like, understanding the very basic concept allows you to play around with it, but getting there is normally the annoying part because it takes a lot of visualization, a lot of practice. But there is mathematical approaches to this, and you can use that to be able to understand it. Now, I like to use the rule of threes. The rule of threes is going to consistently give you a nice, consistent output. If you divide any shape into three, depending on how you make those divisions, you're going to have a very large variation of character designs. Okay, but you can divide everything into three and be perfectly fine. I'm going to show you guys how and where you divide these things. If you're going to be drawing a face, most of your features are going to fall within the middle section of your face. Okay, your eyes, your nose, your eyebrows, and your ears fall within this midsection. So if you go ahead and draw eyes, eyebrows, and a nose within that space, you're going to have already a strong semblance of a human character. If you make the sections bigger, you have space for bigger eyes. If you have smaller sections, you have space for smaller eyes, so that it keeps your eyes in the place they're supposed to be. Now, the bottom part, if you just draw a little teardrop coming from your nose, you have the ability to draw your mouth space and your chin. So this essentially becomes your teeth line. okay? This is where your teeth go. And then your mouth goes around your teeth. Your mouth goes around your teeth. Sometimes you don't have to see all of it, okay? But it still wraps around your teeth, even if you only are showing a little bit of a line. What's up, Wes? How you doing? Congrats. Oh, yeah, I won San Diego City's pool championships yesterday. So I am one of the San Diego City champions for 9-ball. So, yeah, I don't like to brag too much about things that I do outside of the art world, but I am a darn good pool player. So, whoop, whoop. San Diego City champion right here, just chilling. So, as you guys can see, the actual shape and dimensions of a human head doesn't have to be complicated, but we can even simplify it even more. The only part that really is important to understand for the faces in general is going to be the upper two parts of the face. So the upper two parts are going to be relatively important at first. Why? Because these are the parts that don't move, okay? The upper part of the face, the forehead and your face section, your feature zone, don't really move. They do have the eyebrows, they have stuff like that, but they don't really have much movement and the actual surface, like the base level of it. So I like to start my faces by just drawing a box and then using the bottom two for my eyes, the top two for either floating eyebrows and my forehead or a hairline in my forehead. Okay? Having a hairline there just means that I can draw my hair coming up. If I draw my hairline here, boop, this could be the top of my head. Okay, so that is one thing that you guys can do. Focus on the upper part by just drawing a box. Draw a little triangle for your nose bridge. And focus on these two sections. Once you are better, you take that triangle and you make a little teardrop to give yourself access to a mouth. From there, you just connect the sides to your chin and you have yourself a very basic head. Teardrop, mouth, chin. Teardrop, jaw, mouth. So the actual essence of a face can be very simple. It's a box and a triangle, or a box and a teardrop. If you draw the box the same, let's just draw the same box, right? But then the teardrop changes from really long to very little. Nothing changed except that teardrop. And by doing so, you have access to every single type of human that you want. If you want a character that has a really strong jaw, draw yourself a bigger jaw from that little teardrop. The teardrop size is going to be the only thing that changes from your character design. 3/4 angle is really easy. The box, right? Shift this a tiny bit to the side, a tiny bit, and then draw a little circle on the side. A teardrop. Round this out to match this side, and then the top becomes your hairline. So when you're doing something a little bit more complex, you would do this really lightly, okay? And then you would just go in with your detail so that you can use it as a guideline, but not have it be encumbering your design. The thing is, I don't like leaving things to guessing. Okay, I don't like letting things be like, oh, well, you kind of go here, you kind of go there, you can't. No, I don't like doing that. That's the one more, like the most annoying thing that I've ever found in any drawing lesson that I've ever done is where you get to a point where you follow instructions, pace by pace, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, then you do magic and then the finished drawing. And like, I hate that. So I have learned how to do everything through math. So this is half, this is half, this is a perfect box. A perfect box, you divide it in half with a triangle. This gives you your nose, and then that gives you your teardrop. From here to here, I don't just connect it. This gives me my little overlaps for my chin as well. This gives me my little overlaps for my jaw. This gives me my cheekbone. This gives me my temples. This gives me my eye socket. And this gives you my eyebrow ridge. This gives me my nose canal. And this gives me my eye socket. So there's a bunch of information that just happens really, really quickly if you just use those three shapes. And it gives you a lot of mapping points. Cheekbones, temples, eye sockets. And it's not easy to mess up if you just learn how to draw a box. Because there's no variation, there's no like guessing how big things are supposed to be. The box and the circle, the same size. Divide them in half, and then that's your ear. Half of this is your ear, half of this is your eyes, and then you decide how big your chin is. It's really easy. When you want to look up, shift that line up, and you have access to drawing things in slightly different views. Let's see. You got to learn a little anatomy, of course, but that's going to come secondary to understanding how to move the head. Any box that you draw, you'll be able to make a head out of. Just make sure that you get the perspective right. The roundness of the front of the forehead will always match the roundness of the circle. So essentially what you're drawing is a cylinder, right? You're drawing a cylinder with a box in the front with a teardrop. That's what you're doing when you're doing this stuff. You're drawing a cylinder with a box in the front and a teardrop. And that's essentially what you're trying to replicate. Put some music. No, today in the morning, we don't do music. In the morning, we do lessons. In the morning, we teach people. We reach people in the morning so that we can have fun at the night. Like at night, it's just my study sessions. So I do put music on, I sing, and I'm like, da-da-da, stuff like that, right? But at night, I'm not doing that. In the morning, I'm not doing that. I'm normally teaching people because this is where people expect to come in and learn something new. At night, I'm learning. In the day, I'm teaching. So, circle, circle, divide that in half, teardrop, jaw structure. That's really respectable. Letting people expand their, yeah. I'm shocked you haven't been offered a job at a college. Yeah. You know, people don't want to bring people that are more knowledgeable than the staff most of the time. Because I would go into a school and I would start making changes, right? Like I wouldn't let people take advantage of the students. I wouldn't, and I give that air. I give that air off immediately in the interviews. So it's not like, a lot of the times it's because I don't want to work for them. And not because I don't want the job. It's because I see them already limiting me in what I can do immediately. Right? If I go in and they're like, you can't set your own curriculum, you can't teach people the way you want, we want you to teach this and this and this and this, only this. And I'm like, but that is bad information. Like, that's not current, that's not relevant, whatever you say, right? Oh, well, that's the thing that we are allowed to teach. So that's the problem too. Okay, so it's not just teaching people, it's being able to teach people and actually teach them the things that they need instead of the curriculum that is set forth by the school. And that is a big component as to why I don't want to go through a school system anymore. Well, not anymore. I still want to teach at a college. I want to be a professor at a college at some point. But until I am able to do it in the way that I want to, because the way that I teach is what I bring to the table. It's not the knowledge is great, but the way that I teach is so much better than most other people. So that is what I like to do. Like I want to be able to teach the way that I want to teach, not the way that they want me to teach. And that leads to some issues. So I have not accepted a job yet, but I am always on the lookout. And if you guys know of anybody hiring a teacher, I will gladly relocate because that's my dream. In your opinion, do you think college is a waste of time? See, I don't think it's a waste of time, but if you don't approach it the right way, as in if you don't go in and you acknowledge that you have to like use that time effectively, yeah, it's a waste of money and time and resources and probably fucking up your financial future for the rest of your life. So it's not like it's an easy choice to take, right? You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go to college. No, you should not ever do that. So check it out. I'm gonna teach you guys something really cool. I'm gonna teach you guys the 1, 2, 3, 4 rule, okay? This is kind of cool. So if you take a rectangle and you divide it into 4, okay? You divide this, and let's make this a little darker, a little bit lighter. This has now become the front of your face. This has become the side of your head. You round this out, and then you draw a teardrop. You have access to drawing a face by just counting to 4 and a rectangle. So being able to draw characters with proper or even just relatively closer sizing and proportions to a normal character is going to be very, very helpful. Now, let's say that you wanted to just draw a profile. Well, in a profile, you only see 2, 3, and 4 because your face is not necessarily completely flat in front. So if we do a 3, 1, 2, 3, but we don't name them 1, 2, 3 because 1 is this side. We're going to do 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So number 2 is a circle. The rest is a circle. And then the teardrop reaches roughly about half of where your eye would be. So about half here, that's how far the teardrop goes. From there, you connect it to the middle. And then if you want to have the other section, you can always add 1 of this equal size. And you have yourself a 3/4 face. So that becomes 1. So if you only do 2, 3, 4, you have a profile. If you do 1, 2, 3, 4, you have a 3/4. So whenever you divide a shape, and you already divided it in half, all you have to do is divide in half in the front, and you have yourself the proper proportions for a human head. Okay? You can change the sizes of those for any size you want. Make them squishier, make them taller. But the actual concept of drawing the human skeleton should not be as hard as we are making it out to be. Okay? And then you use this to generate all that extra knowledge. You use that as a template, as a basic template, and then you use that to generate your style in the way that you feel like, whatever styling it is that you want, okay? It can be anime, it could be cartoony, it could be realistic, whatever you feel like drawing. Okay? Any proportion tips for the head to the neck to the shoulders. Okay, so if you already have your head, and we have discovered how to draw a head from a box, right? So a box and a circle are going to go hand in hand when it comes down to the size of the head. So a circle and your head are kind of like this. Your neck is going to be the size of that circle. If you just bring that circle down, that is going to be the size of your head. You don't have the size of your neck. You don't have to overthink it. That mass that you have right here, that is the size of where your neck is supposed to be. This is the general size of where your neck is supposed to be. When you're looking at it from the 3/4, it's just the width of your head. Your jaw, your head is not very different from the size of your actual. Look at that. Now, did that look like it had to be anything done to that? Did I have to do any sort of tapering or anything? No. All you have to do is bring it in and do a shadow. And you have yourself from a rectangle, a straight up rectangle, divide it in half or wherever you want that neck, draw some ears, draw a shadow, and you can have yourself a neck. Like, you don't have to make it over complicated. You can, if you want to make it like this and stuff like that, like little ones like this. Well, let me give you a tip. From the bottom of your ear to wherever the side of the neck is, that is the line that connects. So you just have to draw through your shape. If you draw through your shape, you can draw things that don't really match. Once you find your ears, ear, regardless of whatever styling you choose, that is going to connect to wherever the edges of your body is. So if you have all this sort of cool things happening on the side, right? That is essentially where the neck connects. So find your ears, taper them down to whatever the size of the head is, and even the ones where you have to draw them up are going to be a little bit easier. Okie dokie. The actual neck and the head, seeing as the head and the neck pretty much are divisible like this, right? So if the front is a box and the back is a circle, that circle is going to be the width of your neck, and then your teardrop is going to give you your jaw. So you don't have to overly complicate it. I really have to pay more attention to drawing the little details better for you guys so that you don't think that I don't know what I'm doing. But understanding the very basic spacing of this doesn't have to be complicated. It's just normally made incredibly difficult to understand by most people that teach it. Okay? You can draw a cylinder, draw two circles that are the same direction, and then use that for your jaw and your neck. There's a ton of different ways to do it. A ton of different ways, right? There's no one right way and one only way to do it. There's figure 9 approach. If you draw figure 9 and then you draw two circles, you have yourself a head. It's another way, another approach. There's so many different ways that you can do it. It's just a matter of understanding the one that makes sense to you. Okay? If it's the figure 9 approach, if it's the rule of threes, if it's the Loomis approach, if it's the RODGON triangle approach, if whatever it is, okay, whatever it is that you guys do want to learn, it's everybody can learn differently, and we all end up in the same place anyways. Okay? We all end up in just understanding. That is the goal. So, with that being said, my friends, I think we are at the end of our page. So I think that will be our lesson for today. If you guys want some homework, I would suggest that you guys play around with a little bit of drawing a box, 2 circles, and a teardrop. If you guys do that, you guys will be able to start getting your mapping a little bit more consistent, and you guys will be able to draw heads a little bit better. The level at which you will be able to draw your faces will reach not just cartoony levels like this, but you guys will be able to use that for any sort of level detail that you guys want to achieve. Okay, I can show you guys tons of examples from Disney to realistic to stuff like that as well. And later on, you guys will be able to use that knowledge to be able to draw people in public, people from your favorite cartoons, yourself getting flipped off by it. Son, or in general, just anything that you guys feel inclined to do, from pinups to drawing yourselves to life drawing to comics to anything in general. Okay, this is knowledge that helps you unlock all that. This is the stuff that you get told over and over to study, but I'm trying to make it easy for you guys so that it makes it enjoyable instead of seeing it like a chore. And that is my superpower. My little superpower is to teach you and make it fun. My charisma points are maxed out. So you guys have a lovely day. If you guys feel like helping my channel grow, next time, please just hit the like button next time. Not right now. Right now, it's pointless because we didn't really hit it. But I didn't really ask you guys to do it anyways. So next time, just make sure to hit that like button. Let's get to like 100,000 likes at some point. We've broken like 200,000 at some point. But that's with me asking. I don't want to ask anymore. I'm tired of it. I feel like I'm nagging and I don't like doing that. So we're not going to do that anymore. But we still got like 10,000 likes, which is kind of cool. And you guys have your homework. There's a bunch of examples here. And if you guys want more knowledge, there is my YouTube channel that you guys can go follow. My YouTube channel has over 500 videos now. Over 500 videos. 500. Yeah, 500. All free. And they're all geared to help you guys understand the world of design a little bit more. So if you guys feel inclined to actually go learn, the knowledge is there. You just have to go find it. Thank you so much for being my students. I'll see you guys soon. And you guys take care. Love you all. And toodaloo.